for Dell EMC. A few words on Canonical. We are the publisher of the community project for Ubuntu, and we provide commercial support for enterprises that use Ubuntu. Our goal at large is to bring the agility and the economics of innovators and hyperscalers to enterprise globally. We are a brand sponsor at the event. We have a booth actually on the central aisle next to the Red Sox booth, so it's easy to find us. Feel free to join us after the session for nice demos. We've done a lot of progress in the past 12 months in our partnership with Dell, so we are very excited to share some of that with you today. Let me start with a few words on and a few updates on Ubuntu. And I would like to start as a first nice subject about the fact that Ubuntu continues to be the absolute preferred OS for developers, innovators, and hyperscalers. We still enjoy a very nice 70% market share in public cloud, meaning all the applications you use every day, like Uber, Instagram, Netflix, you use Ubuntu every day, and that's running on those clouds with us. We have also taken very good strides on cloud-native environments, with probably 70% of all Docker images running Ubuntu. And some famous platform as a service like Cloud Foundry have also adopted Ubuntu as the substrate for their platform. And this is delightful in the context of our relationship with Pivotal. All Pivotal Cloud Foundry ships on Ubuntu today. On the hosted Linux, we still keep enjoying a good 40% market share, being by far the most used OS out there. And in the past couple of years, we've really enjoyed a tremendous adoption for cloud on-premise with OpenStack as the clear leading OS for any OpenStack deployments there is. The success is also greatly due to our unique positioning in the operating system, ecosystem, sorry. We don't have two versions of the software, one that will be community and unsupported, and one that will be enterprise grade with mandatory support. We just have one Ubuntu. It's freely available to use for developers, for your R&D, for pre-production, for your CI/CD pipeline. And when you go commercially, when you go to production, then you can reach out to Canonical to get support without changing from the CentOS to RHEL or anything like that. The other point is when you reach out to get support, you can do that with unbeatable economics, and Canonical is committed to deliver the best price point to support anything from Linux to OpenStack and Kubernetes. Another reason for our success is the velocity and the predictability of our releases. With Ubuntu, every 6 months, you get the latest and greatest for Linux, OpenStack, containers, storage, Docker images. On time, every time, like a Swiss clock, since our inception in 2004. Every April and October, you will get that. And when we say we deliver the greatest stack, we mean it in a big way. Take the example of the kernel today. We are launching 1904, and we're the first distro to launch the 5.0 kernel commercially supported out there. Look at the numbers of libraries and applications that run in the Ubuntu ecosystem. This is unmatched, right? And 7 days after Kubernetes 1.14 was released last month, we were able to bring commercial support to that. Another big update that was announced actually 2 days ago at the Open Infra Summit in Denver, that's happening this week in parallel to this event, is a simplification of our support offering. Some of you who've worked with us in the past have been used to our support core name, which is Ubuntu Advantage, also known as UA. And it used to come in several flavors. For the ones who were doing bare metal with MAS, that UA MAS. The one who were looking at servers, there was US Server. people were deploying OpenStack were having a UA OpenStack or UA Kubernetes offering. And with a strong adoption of all those technologies by customers, growing number of customers, the volumes that we've been able to enjoy have allowed us to reduce dramatically the cost. And we've decided, and we're now able to combine all those offerings into a single offering called UA Infrastructure, combining the support for any technology you may need for cloud. So we believe that by combining those support offerings, we will ease the adoption of your journey to cloud. If you are today if you are a UA server customer, just for Linux, what does that mean for you? That means that you can embrace OpenStack at no extra cost and get supported. If you are an OpenStack customer today, supported by us, it means you can embrace Kubernetes on top of your OpenStack at zero extra cost as well. So that will come again with the three flavors that we used to deliver for server, which are Essentials, which is basically a very aggressive entry price, where you don't get the ability to make phone calls, but you get all the security updates and the last batch capabilities. And then you've got our two standard and advanced offering for weekdays and 24/7. 10 days ago, we also announced 1904, also known as Disco Dingo. This is the year of the D. And so this is the web interface, but that comes with a full suite of updates, especially in the cloud and the IoT space as well, for the whole portfolio. So on the infrastructure side of things, we're bringing a lot of new features for AI and network function virtualization acceleration. So that's mainly in the context of OpenStack and Tyco environment. We bring, as I mentioned, 1.14 release of Kubernetes since end of last month, and which brings interesting improvement for storage and also a new container format, which is Containerd, and a set of minimal images that are super relevant for the edge. So you can really fit an Ubuntu OS in a very smaller footprint at the edge of the network. A few improvements also on IoT, on robotics with DeepTracer. We also have now EdgeX coming as a snap, and I'm going to come back to that on our IoT section. And further improvements also on the developer side. So now I'd like to talk about our relationship with Dell. We share the broad vision with Dell that the cloud challenge really spans from the edge to the core to the cloud. I think it was very well laid out by Michael Dell, by Jeff Clark. And when you think of how to do that, Dell had already a very good answer with VMware on top of Dell infrastructure. But there's a very clear demand from the market, from customers, to do something similar in open source. So how do we do that? And this is exactly what relates to the strength of the partnership between Canonical and Dell, because together we exactly can build that in an open source fashion. And this is why we are engaged with every single business unit at Dell to make that happen, to build all the building blocks you need to then be able to build a transformation project, digital transformation project in an open source fashion. So what does that mean? With the server business unit, any server that's coming out of Dell today, from the 14th generation onwards, gets certified with Ubuntu. It also gets certified against our bare metal provisioning, which is MAAS. It means you get the ability to provision any edge, any IoT with an open source tool called MAAS, that as a service. It means we do the same with storage. We are now building a big plan with Dell to integrate most of the storage portfolio of Dell into our different reference architecture, be it OpenStack or Kubernetes. Networking and service provider. We've done a tremendous work with Dell to build optimized reference architecture for OpenStack, Kubernetes, and NFV. We are working a lot with their edge strategy, be it the consumer edge with virtual edge platforms, or the telco edge, which is more top-of-rack switch teams. And we are now bringing ready architecture for machine learning, including the edge. Services are key in that story too, because you need to bring the capability to deploy OpenStack, deploy Kubernetes, but then to manage it. This is where we're working with Dell to make that know-how transfer happen. The client group is a big also piece of that puzzle. If you think of AI/ML in particular, that really starts with the client, the desktop client or the workstation. And we've been a long-lasting partner from that team to bring all the stacks that are exactly the same that in the cloud, to build those models and deploy those models and train those models. Last but not least is our collaboration with the strategic ally businesses, and that's mainly Pivotal, with whom we are a true partner since the inception of Pivotal Cloud Foundry. Every foundation ships on Ubuntu today, and we're working with them to expand on their big data analytics products, and also on machine learning with them. So now let's zoom a little bit on a few of those building blocks. First one is on the laptop. This is really a relationship that started the partnership a long time ago with one model, right? And today, the fiscal year that just finished, we're very proud to have shipped 160 unique workstations and laptops running on Ubuntu. That means also that any Linux that ships on Dell laptops is Ubuntu. Always optimized for Dell and for developers using Dell laptops. So moving closer to the core is the IoT. IoT is a big domain for Canonical in general, and we've been successful by bringing a product that brings a very robust, very secure Linux called Ubuntu Core, and a way to deploy applications in a packaging that's called Snap. Those technologies have been very widely adopted. You can go on snapcraft.io, you will see probably more than 5,000 published snaps out there. And that really offers a framework to deal with IoT, right? Because IoT means millions of devices, meaning this cannot break, right? And this is exactly what Ubuntu Core promises. You can predictively deploy new applications in a very secure fashion, in the sense that the application is not coming as packages, it's coming as a snap that is signed by Dell or by Dell partner, to be able to transform a gateway into a vertical applications, depending on which industry you are applying it for. And Dell and Canonical jointly have been working on two series, the 3000 and the 5000, that are already shipping, both with server and core, and enjoying a good set of early customers there. Moving one level closer to core now is OpenStack. OpenStack has been a fantastic journey for Canonical and Dell. I think there's not been a month where we didn't have a project, a customer, wanting to deploy a cloud on OpenStack with Canonical software suite and Dell. And there's a reason for that. On OpenStack generally, I mean, more than 50% of deployments have chosen Ubuntu as a substrate for that. We bring a lot of advantages as well in capabilities to embrace machine learning for OpenStack. Typically, ability to transfer GPU capabilities to VMs in OpenStack. And Dell is the most wanted hardware for OpenStack. This is coming from the OpenStack surveys, right? And by combining the two together, we bring best-in-class experience for customers. Especially, we worked with Dell on an optimized, a cost-optimized reference architecture, so we make sure that as a customer you will get the most cost-effective way to deploy an OpenStack. As Canonical, we are already, as we know it, the best efficient engine for an OpenStack stack, but we also make sure that we look at all the hardware specification of all the Dell hardware to give you the comprehensive TCO for that. That also includes, and this is very interesting if you are a managed service company, the operations of an OpenStack, because that comes with our tool to operate a cloud called Juju that brings you a very elegant and cost-efficient way to manage your cloud, to grow it, to shrink it, to kill it, to rebuild it, and that's a fantastic opportunity on the services side in the partner ecosystem of Dell. Cloud native platform. We've launched with Dell at KubeCon last year a reference architecture for Kubernetes. So here we are addressing the portability between public clouds and private clouds, because all public clouds have launched Kubernetes based on Ubuntu. So by delivering that on PowerEdge platforms in the reference architecture, you de facto bring a hybrid story, the same one that they are building with VMware, but you need VMware on public cloud. Here, just by putting Canonical Kubernetes on Dell platforms, you get that from the batch, right? So that's how strong this is being embraced, and we're taking that now to a next level of integrations with other storage from Dell and the likes. A couple of examples of the customer traction we've gotten in the past year. So in every possible domain, from bare metal provisioning, from OpenStack, from Kubernetes, AIML, we've had, and from managed services even, we've got new logos enjoyed between Dell and Canonical. And also in most of the verticals, right? We're super strong in telco historically, but in the past 2 years we've embraced tons of logo in the finance sector, in the retail, and most lately with system integrators who are looking at precisely this digital transformation that is also now embracing open source. And that drives me to, I want to zoom on a particular win that was actually announced 2 weeks ago, which is Atos. They were on stage at Google Next with Google at SVP level to announce how they've rebuilt the digital transformation project and platform based on open source. And the whole platform they've built is built on Dell hardware and Ubuntu stacks, because we came to Atos nicely integrated together with our reference architectures and everything. So from the server, OpenStack, Kubernetes, and even machine learning framework like Kubeflow, this is all coming as one into Google. And that's integrated with NTOS, who was the hybrid middleware that Google announced. So technically, we have built together the first on-prem version of GKE on Ubuntu and Dell hardware. To conclude this presentation, I'd like to ask you to reach out if you want to know more. And we've got several ways to do that. You can reach out in the Dell ecosystem with Cynthia, who's my counterpart. She's in the room. So she'll tell you everything we did with the language. You can reach out to me. Here's my address. And if you are a partner or the Dell sales, and you want directly to engage on some opportunities, we've upgraded our partner portal, and you can register there to get access to Dell EMC material and register opportunities directly on our website. And last but not least, please visit us in our booth. It's in Central Ale, like a minute from here, next to the Red Sox, and we'll be happy to show you all the demos of the products we discussed briefly right now and address any question you may have. Thank you all very much.
All right, let's give Regis a round of applause. Thank you very much. So we're just going to do a quick little raffle here.